Hello YouTube, it is Kai. I wanted to come on here and give an update. I realize it's been many months since I've been back on my channel, and I'd been meaning to upload videos, but just life and everything just got in the way. So here I am because God's been really working on me these last couple days to do something. I'm outside. It's very noisy out here. There's a lot of work being done. So if you hear any background noise, I do apologize. That's not something that I can help, and I've put in my headphones to try to alleviate some of that. But nonetheless, if you see me scream and run away, that's because I'm being attacked by one of these aggressive wasps that we got out here in Georgia. Like, they are super aggro out here for no reason. so yeah. Anyway, so where do I start? I think I left off with looking for a job for myself, something with a reliable income. And it was so funny because God had me applying at different places for what I was doing was insurance. And I took my licenses. I passed some of my new licenses that I needed to get the job, and I was at that job for months, just trying to make it, y'all. And it was just not. It wasn't working. I was literally spinning my wheels. And I'm just like, God, how is this happening? I listened to you. I weighed my options, and how am I here right now? And the simple answer was that wasn't my final stop. That wasn't my destiny. It was just more preparation. And I learned a lot. I will say that I learned a lot along the way. I picked up on things that I needed to go into my next position. And my next position actually happened to, I met the employer through one of my, he was a client, a potential client. And from the moment he saw me, he was like, I want you to come work for me. And I was like, I have a job, I'm working right now. I was trying to get a policy from him and all this other stuff. So, long story short, I ended up coming on to his job in January. I got on and I became the director of operations, which is huge for someone like me. I was just kind of coming from a position where I had no qualifications for this job, but I knew everything that I needed to do because all of the issues that I'd been going through in my life had prepared me for that position. And I know that sounds a little strange to people. Oh, look, more red cardinals. 2 red cardinals. God has been talking to me in red cardinals lately. It's been real. But anyway, I get distracted easy, as you can tell. So this position, I know it's temporary. It's not a permanent position. It's a stepping stone to get me where he wants me to go. Those red cardinals, there's 2 of them. And I'm going to tell you the significance of that sometime in the future. Anyway, so I have a job with reliable income. You guys know that I said that I needed a vehicle. So I've always heard that God is never too big for our dreams. And I believe that with all my heart, because what I'm about to tell you. I was just in on this job. This employer knew I didn't have any transportation. And it was one of the times that he was picking me up to take me to work. And he asked me, he goes, "What's your dream car?" And I just said something that was off the top of my head, which not really the top of my head. That's not accurate. I had, in my notes, I keep like prayers to God. And I asked the Lord to get me a vehicle, and I wasn't going to hold back. I didn't want just like a vehicle that gets you to and fro. I was like, no, I want something nice and fancy. So I picked out a fancy car, and I had it on my prayer list for like 2 years. I screenshotted a picture of it, and I put it in the prayers. And I said every day for 2 years, 2.5 years, that is going to be my car one day. That's my dream car. I'm going to have it one day. Get back to the story. My employer asked me what my dream car was. I told him the make. And he's like, "Find a dealership around here and let's go there." And I was like, that's really odd. So I had been kind of dragging my feet on it, not gonna lie, because I felt like I'm not in a position to do things that are not that important. And in my mind, I was thinking I was just gonna go there and look at vehicles. Anyways, he pushed the issue again, and I found a spot that was about 30 minutes from where I live. And we went there, and we didn't talk anything about it. We were just talking about work things, business things, and just letting that go. And finally we get to the dealership, and the dealer asked me, and it's so weird, you guys, because like before I walked into that dealership, I didn't know what I was going to do once I got there. I was like, I'm just probably going to carouse and look at different vehicles, and that's about it. So a salesman comes up to us, and he's like, "Hey, what kind of vehicle are you looking for?" I said, "Well, the GLB, because that's what I had on my list." And he says, "I don't really have but one on the lot." So he says, "There's a semiconductor chip shortage, and this is the one that I have." And we briefly look at it. He gets to talking to my boss, and my boss goes, "Okay, let's order the car." And I'm like, "Wait, what do you mean let's order the car?" He's like, "Let's order the car." And they start talking about car stuff, and I'm still trying to wrap my mind about what is going on, like what is happening right now. Well, the long story short is my boss ended up ordering this car for me because he wants the business to purchase the vehicle for me, pay my payments and such. I was completely blown away, you guys. I never expected in a million years that anybody would come up to me and offer me a vehicle, let alone the vehicle that I have been dreaming of, saying it would be mine, believing God, because it was faith. It was nothing other than faith. I was just like, wow, I cannot believe this is happening. So it took several months for the vehicle. I mean, the vehicle's just been produced. It's just got done being made. And it is still waiting for the semiconductor chip. And my patience is kind of wearing, not gonna lie, but I know that God had this car for me because I didn't need to do anything. I didn't need to say anything. I didn't need to make anything happen on my own. God just made it happen and opened the doors, and I didn't even see it coming. So this is going to really, this testimony is really gonna bless someone, or should bless all of you, to realize that if God can do it for me, he can do it for just about anyone. I don't have the car as of yet because there's this semiconductor chip shortage. But I know that that car is mine, and when the time comes, God will release it to me. I just need to be patient, and this is teaching me patience because I don't know what God's doing in the background, but he's working. And he's working in many areas of my life, including, including my love life. So, yeah. So, I'm one of those that, God has shown me my husband. And that's a whole nother testimony that I need to get into with you guys, where that began, how that started. It's not done. It is a work in progress. But that is the position that God has called me to be in. It was actually in the time where I had decided I was getting a divorce. It was something that the Lord had really been working on me to accept, that when I married my husband, my ex-husband, when I married him, I did not seek God, and I had married a counterfeit. Now, I know a lot of us have heard of that word, counterfeits and kingdom spouse and all of that. I don't want to get into that, because some people either believe it or they don't, and I already had somebody come on this channel reaching out to me wanting to be a mentor, and I shared a little bit of that with them, and he thought he was my kingdom spouse, and he just got really offended really quickly, and he really laid into me, and it was just a scary, eerie thing that happened. And I was like, I need to be careful with the people that, reach out to me on here, which I don't have a lot of people that do, but nonetheless, y'all be careful out there, because there are some people that, they're going to use certain things against you to try to, I don't know what the intentions were, but it was wild. It was something else, and it was part of the reason why I didn't want to come on and make any more videos, because I was just like, that's just a bit scary. But anyhow, that definitely wasn't my kingdom spouse, or I don't even like using that term. I think that wasn't the one that God had for me. I know the one who God has for me. God has spoken to me, and we've had this push and pull thing going on since 2018. And it's been, it's been a bit hard, because I was like, God, you need to give me another spouse. Because this one needs a lot of work. We all need a lot of work, and this is not to put him down or anything. He's a great guy. We get along great, and he's absolutely perfect, and I know why God picked him for me. I do. It's just that at this point, he's still asleep, and I'm not, like when God put Adam to sleep to make Eve. Well, I'm in Eve's position, and God is just now released that he's waking him up finally after all of this time. And we had been trying to have a romantic relationship, but it's like the way he described it is pretty much spot on. He's like, there's everything in the way of us being together. And that was so accurate, because there is everything in the way of us being together because it's not the right time yet due to other things going on. I'm still wrapping up my divorce being one of them. And before y'all come for me in the comments, I have never, ever been anything but a friend to this guy. There hasn't been anything. We've met up once in person, but we talk every day on the phone. And we're not too far from each other, a little over an hour and a half. But we can easily just meet up at any point. But we don't because, it's just not the right time. Everything has to be done in a certain way. God is a God of order, and, He can't go against His word. Me still being legally married, and He doesn't want me to be in sin, and I understand that. And He understands that. So, yeah. But that's going to be an interesting testimony indeed for a lot of people, because God did something that I never, ever, ever thought that He would do. And that was when I decided that I was going to divorce my husband. I never wanted to get married. I never wanted to go through that hurt and pain after that. And it was when I decided that God was like, that isn't my will for you. I know that's what you want at the moment because you're healing, you're still hurting, you're going through all these emotions. And I was just like, I can't do this. And I tried to I guess disobey God, and God had to intercede, and He had to change my heart, and He literally changed my heart, you guys, in a matter of minutes. I went from being stubborn, hard up Jonah to being like, what did you do to me? Like, why did you change me in that way? And He's like, I had to because you're so stubborn. And I am. I'm one of the most stubborn people I know, or at least I used to be. I'm not anymore. But I was. And I understand why God had to do it, because if He hadn't, He wouldn't have been able to get through. And I understand in the Bible where God say He can harden hearts and He can soften them. And He had to soften my heart towards marriage and what He had for me and His promises. And you guys, I'm seeing it come to pass. And a lot of stuff looks impossible, A lot of it seems impossible. But it's supernaturally, God has put a connection between me and this person, and we both were not really, we didn't choose this. So it's been an ordeal, to say the least. We do communicate. We stop talking to each other for periods of time, and then we keep talking to each other and going back, because there's this pull there that neither one of us can explain as to what keeps connecting us. And God has shared many words about that to me. And there's so many people that, are trying to give and explain and all of that on here. And we see the people who are gifted and have these words and stuff. And I'm none of those people. I'm not. The only thing that I am is just here to share my journey with people. I'm not, I want to encourage everyone, but I'm not going to be a pastor, an evangelist, or a apostle, a prophet. I'm not going to be any of those things. I'm just going to be a regular person, just one sister to another. And that's what I hope that this channel attracts, is people that may be in like-minded situations, or they're curious about what's the deal, what's happening with this girl. You know, I sort of want to come in at that angle. And I want to just share little nuggets of things that I've learned. And hopefully, sorry, y'all. Hopefully it could encourage someone, or it can touch someone. And, you know, this channel may have different things at different times. And I want it to be faith-based always, because that's the most important thing. But anybody can come to this channel regardless of what. You know, I'm not a religious person. I'm a Jesus freak, you know. There's a difference to me. You know, religion is just that. It's just religion. It's not going to save you. Only Jesus does, you know. And that doesn't always look the same to everybody. And I just want something that's just a little different than what everyone's used to. My life is, I'm not perfect, you guys. I love Jesus, but sometimes I will curse. You know, I try to be better. I'm a work in progress. You know, I like to drink wine on occasions, and I like to enjoy secular music. I do. I love music. Music is a huge part of my life, and you know, I don't live to where I'm on mission trips every weekend, and I'm doing all of these things for the kingdom. I mean, I do stuff. Don't get me wrong. I do. I do my part. I can say that before the Lord. But my missions are a lot different than others, you know. And in time, I guess I will share them with you guys, what that looks like for me. Because I believe that people need to know that Jesus loves them. And I will do things to make sure that people know that. And it's not something that I really like to put a lot of attention on. I believe those things are between me and the Lord. But I don't fit the mold for the typical Christian on here, if you would, that shares these words. And I don't have my life all together. In fact, you know, my life it's up and down. You know, I have issues that I deal with, and I don't like having to hide those things from people, because I feel like it's inauthentic. I feel like, you know, I'm not being me. I'm not being real. And I just want to be me, and I want to be real with people, because I feel like that is going to help people more than just putting on a face and talking about just the good things, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love encouragement, and this is not to say that that is bad in any kind of way. But sometimes people go through things, and I want to be the one to say, hey, I'm going through some things. And if I can make it through, you guys can make it through, and just help someone. And I want this channel to be just different. I want it to be a different experience for you guys. And you know, I have my moments where I'm silly and I'm doing stuff, and I want to come on and be silly with my kids and just kind of let you in on that, while also sharing my journey and while also sharing other parts of my life. So I don't want to make this video too long, but I thank you if you've made it this far. I'm not the type of person that wants to ask for subscribers. This place is a place for the people who don't fit in, the misfits, the rejects, the people who haven't had it easy. And I want them to have a place where they can call home, some place where they can go and just look and just see, I'm not the only one. I'm not alone, because God says we are never alone. But sometimes, you know, sometimes we need encouragement too. And sometimes we don't always fit into a certain type of mold. And that's okay. That is totally okay. Because those are the kind of people I like. Those are my people. Those are my tribe. So, yeah, I will see you on the next one, and it will not be as long as you guys think. You guys take care, and God bless.